Shambhu Mahadi. So we were discussing about Bhuma, the completeness. So we explained, just to recap the importance and the identity of Bhuma, but this is what we have to remember. Bhuma is that which has a pregnant significance within itself, which implies absoluteness in quantity as well as in quality, an uncontaminated character, permanency of every type. This is very important. Permanency of every type. Immortality, infinity, and eternity. The one which has got all these characteristics is Bhuma. You understand? What I told is not Bhuma. The one which has all these characteristics is Bhuma. You of course, it implies. By meaning it implies, of course. The one who is absolute in quantity and quality. And the one who is uncontaminated in character. Triguna-athitam. Please explain about that. Contamination. What is contamination? As far as the character of Bhuma is concerned. So contamination. Permanency. Nityam. But finally, of course, if it is Nityam, it is immortality. If it is immortality, it is infinity. If it is infinity, it is eternity. You know, linked. Words have been used. But this is what contains all this. The one's characteristics, this is the characteristics of this is called, he means by Bhuma, which is known as the infinite. It's called the infinite. The infinite is not only that it is not finite, but it is all this. It is not only that, now we understand, which is temporary and permanent, or object and subject, finite and infinite. None of this, but this is the characteristics. And what is finite? We will come. We are just coming to that. This is infinite. What is finite? We will come. This is called Bhuma, and that Bhuma is what he is trying to make us understand in various ways, because there is no direct explanation which can be given in such cases. You know, I have already told you in Upanishad, these words like Bhuma, Brahman and all that, this cannot be explained by language. It only has to be understood through inference, that's all. So this is why we have to use so many words in order to understand something, you see. Here in our material, the flower is white, we understood. He is not going by that. He is going by what is called whiteness. That whiteness is detailed, you see. But we don't say that what is whiteness. For us, sunlight is also white, the flower is also white. I mean, you know that there are different white. Everything is white for us. He is specific on that. You see. So, now how to define white? some that Bailey pool has got one kind of whiteness, and what is that? Some other flowers are there which has also got whiteness. There is a white rose. There are so many things out of that which is white, things like that. So it is difficult, you see, even in that, but we don't generally go that because we go by a common term, that's all. We just want to vaguely understand, that's all. But whereas in Upanishad it is not that. We want to understand it specifically. But when we go for a specific understanding, for words such as Brahman, Atma, Prana, all those things, there is no direct translation because they are beyond. It is the not in the lower consciousness. They are all in the higher consciousness. First of all, that which is in the higher consciousness cannot be perceived by the lower consciousness and cannot be understood or cannot be. So if it cannot be understood, it cannot be explained in words. They are beyond words. There are no specifications or explanations for that because they don't demand for any explanations. They are beyond the explanations, and explanations are not necessary. Explanations are not necessary only for those which cannot be understood, and the person or that unit which doesn't understand that, the combination of these two, then only an understanding is required. Whereas in this case, the identifier or the one who is to understand that is not available. The knower is not available, only knowledge is available. So the question of understanding is not there. The question of learning is not there. The question of understanding is not there. So the ones who are in the lower consciousness and wanting to understand that which is beyond the limit of understanding and perceivable has to be understood only by an inference. It is something like this. Now he said it is an uncontaminated character. Uncontaminated is, I told, in one word I said that Trigunatita, there are no Sato Raju, there are no gunas. That's contamination. Even Sato Guna is a contamination, you see. Now when you go into detail, then it's a big chapter, you see, we all understand. Since we have already explained it, so we are not going through that. So you understood this are all to be understood by an inference. But then what happens is that, then why is it explained to such people? Is that because they should know that there is something beyond that which we cannot understand. Or there are so many things, that what we can understand is only limited, what we cannot understand is unlimited. Is why they also said that, in the science also it is said that 96% is known as the dark energy and 4% is only known energy. That means the 4% of the universe is only known to us. The 96% is not known to us. Not the dark means not dark. Dark in the sense unknown. It is beyond the knowledge. This is the mystery of the universe, you see. That's why it is known as mystical. That's the world which is beyond the recognition. The world beyond the lower consciousness is known as mystical. Mystic. This cannot be understood. It's very mystical. And that is the maximum. So unless the knowing world is left, knowing world anyway we know, is sacrificed, is renounced, the mystical world cannot be understood because mystical world is a mystery and it will always be a mystery. That's why a man who knows that is known as a mystic also. The one who knows the mystery of it is a mystic. Okay. So he says, nothing of combination of anything or any sort of explanation, one alone infinite, two infinites or 100 infinites, two individuals or two trees or two objects, two subjects, joining together also will not make it, whatever may be the attempt. Subject in comparing their contact with the objects, they never become one being. We have never seen two persons becoming one, two things becoming one, or society of people emerging into single personality. Such a thing has never been heard of, nor is practicable. Until that is practicable, happiness is also not practicable. Bhuma is also, we were coming from happiness, that happiness is that where we said, what is it, consciousness, highest consciousness, sukham, is it? These are all part of sukham. Unless that completeness, that means, unless a completeness takes place, the sukham cannot be experienced, or sukham cannot be defined. Yes, happiness, sukham. As I told you about sukham, sukhino bhava. That sukham cannot be. That's why he said happiness also is not practicable. It's not a thing that can be practiced, as we think that, okay, sukha prapti. Sukha prapti is not that. It's not the sharir. We have divided and used that, the big unknown word for the small things. Sharira sukham, mano sukham, dhana sukham, mana sukham, any sukham. Everything has been put as sukham. It's absolutely wrong to be using that sukham. Sukham is from where everything begins, actually. No? Unless there is sukham, something cannot come, something cannot be created, something cannot come out, whether it is manifestation or unmanifestation, or it is prakriti or purusha, it is sukha. The sukha in the purusha has created, is projected, is the prakriti. It's not created again, it's not an intention, because sukham is not created by an intention. Sukham is by itself inherent quality. It's not that I have got sukham, or I have sukham, or I give sukham. No, it's not that. Sukham, I am in sukham, rather. Maybe one can say that I am in sukham. We can say that. So is why he says that happiness is not practicable. It's not practicable. So everything comes from happiness. We do things, everything we do is because of the sukham, and what we derive out of executing, doing, or karma by a krita, by a karma is doing. By a karma, what we are deriving is not sukham, we are deriving the pleasure. The initiative of doing something, executing something, or doing a karma, let me say it's a karma. To do a karma, there has to be a sukham. That's inherent in us. Because of that sukham, I am doing it. And because I am doing it, I am deriving pleasure out of it. It's not sukham. It appears to be sukham because in everything there is sukham. There is a projection. I told you about the mirror and things like that. When I do not, like Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, Vedas, Shastras have told, when we execute a karma without enjoying the result of it, do a karma as an akarma, not as a karma, just doing it. When we do that, we are not deriving anything out of it. The pleasure, what is reflected from the object or from the execution of karma, is not being enjoyed by the executor of the karma. When that happens, the sukham, develops in him. The source develops in him. Then from where? Identification of the sukham develops. When there is a pleasure added to sukham, the mind gets confused which is sukham, the pleasure or the sukham. Because mind doesn't have capacity beyond certain limitations. So it remains in the unlimited. So it is difficult to classify which is sukham, which is pleasure. Many things we identify as sukham, but there is no sukham that we are deriving out of an execution of a karma. An execution of a karma brings only pleasure. The whole universe gives only pleasure. It is not sukham. Because sukham, being a source, it is not attained or it is not derived. You become the sukham. Clear chapter? The search of happiness in this world is a search for the will-o'-the-wisp. Not in the finite is happiness to be found. We have already explained this. What did we say? Naalpey sukhamasti is what we said in the previous session. He says the absolute fullness alone is the bliss. Absolute fullness is the bliss. That means completeness. So, in that what happens? So he says, Bhumaiva sukham. Bhumaiva sukham. Naalpey sukhamasti. When I say Naalpey sukhamasti, then where is sukham? Bhumaiva sukham. Bhuma is what? Bhuma, we have already explained what is Bhuma. And that is called sukham. Naalpey sukhamasti. Bhumaiva sukham. Is it clear? So Bhuma, we have already explained what is Bhuma. That is sukham. So from that we can understand this is nothing can be pursued by somebody. That means Bhuma is that which implies the absoluteness in quantity and quality. Uncontaminated character. How can you attain all? Can you become Trigunadita? Can you become the completeness? Can you become the permanency of every type? Permanency not only in one. In everything there should be permanency. In birth there permanency, in death permanency. I am just telling an example. What's the meaning of permanency in birth? One should not die. What is permanency in death? One should not be born. So, see, what is what? Every type, when he says every type, I just want to tell you what is the worst in every type, how to understand every type. That means there is nothing which can be avoided, you see. So everything is permanent. Death is also permanent, birth is also permanent. How is it possible? Maybe that question is, this is what it is. This is what it is. Every type, when he says permanency in every type, means this is called permanency in every type. So how can I attain this? How can I attain this happiness? How can I attain this Bhuma? So you understood what it is. It's not that perceivable, for can be bought for some coins. Bhumaiva sukham. Bhumaiva sukham. To be in that completeness, that one becomes that. Therefore, that to become that, whatever you have become, that you have to renounce. Becoming is an activity. Becoming is an activity. When an activity is there, then you become. When that activity is not there, tathastu, bhava, it happens. It's not, even though we explain as becoming. Becoming means there has to be a previous status, there has to be a present status. I am just going into details. So becoming is also will become obsolete at one point of time. Even though I am using the word becoming because there is no other word to use, I do not know. To be that, tatha, so be it. Now what is this so? What is this so? That which is full is called so. That which is completeness, purnam, is so. That which is fullness is so. That which is Bhuma is so. That which is Atma is so. That which is Parabrahma is so. That's so. Now how to explain so? So, Tatha astu. Tatha is a big word. Tatha. Tatha means like this. Like what? Like Brahman. What is Brahman? This is what is Brahman. Tatha astu, tatha astu. So, be it tatha astu, let it happen, be like tatha. Like that, let it happen like that. Let it be like that. Now what is that it? So be it. So be means happens. It. What is that it? Is there a third person? Is there a second person? Is a third person? Is it the third thing? Second thing. Outer side of you. It doesn't have anything. It is also like I am saying I. What am I saying? To me, I am saying I. The I is an it. Because when you say I, you are addressing somebody, is it not? Like I am addressing you as you are also addressing I as I. You are addressing. Who is that one who is addressing this as I? So this is what? It. For him, this is it. Is it not? So what is it? No meaning actually. It's only to perception, to just to have an understanding in lower consciousness. Shabdartham is it. No? There are Shabda to create an inference, the close meaning, the close relativity towards that, the closer to the inference that it can be made. Like we say, oh, it is just like it is hot as burning fire. What's that heat of burning fire? It's an inference drawn for this heat. No, it's an intensity superlative has been used. The maximum what we know is that the heat of the fire is the maximum what we know. So we use that heat. If it is too hot, it's burning hot. Okay? It's burning. Inference drawn like that only one can understand. So burning hot in the sense it may be only 40 degrees, but we call it as burning hot. You know. It's only to identify that, understand that Brahman, like that only. This is the only way we can understand Brahman in the lower consciousness. Otherwise, we will have to renounce the lower consciousness. So be it tathastu. So the it is not visible. So Naalpey sukhamasti. Bhumaiva sukham. That Bhuma is a sukham. That sukham, the Bhumaiva sukham. It is not meant for attaining. Bhumaiva sukham. To be in the Bhuma, in the status of Bhuma, is to be in sukham. Sukham is not applicable as an instrument for any object or subject. No? To have sukham. No. It's not an application. It's not an object to apply on. Oh, let me apply the ointment. Let me have little sukham. Like we say, we want peace. This is a common word used to shanti nahi hai. We want peace. Peace is cannot be cut into pieces. The peace cannot be cut into pieces. Peace is one unit. You have to be in peace. Peace cannot be in you. How can you get peace? How can you get Brahman? How can you get Bhuma? That's not possible. So he said, Bhumaiva sukham. Bhumaiva sukham. But also when we say Bhumaiva sukham, what is not sukham? Naalpey sukhamasti. In the Alpa, there is no sukham. In Analpa, what is Bhuma? It is Analpa. That's all. For this mind or this brain, this is all what has been, which is not Alpam, which is called an Analpam. Analpam is sukham, Alpam is not sukham. That is why these words have been used. Naalpey as sukhamasti and Bhumaiva sukham. I am repeating this so that we get into the mind. I know I am repeating because it's very nice to repeat this. Bhumaiva sukham. So don't get misunderstood, misled by any of studies, any of talks, any of education, any of paths that look, this is that, this, that, by doing this, you will become that, you will become this, I will show you the God. There's so many things happening in this universe. Don't get misled by any of this. This cannot be happening. It's only through a process. It's a process. It has a discipline. It has a process. It has a step-by-step process. And there is no deviation in that. And there is no shortcut in that. Because the analpam can be attained only through that disciplinary method. That's the only thing. Atman or Atma or Brahman can be attained only through that path. Because if there are so many paths, it can be attained by any way, means it is not possible like that. There is a discipline. The many ways, many people talk about many ways, or even Bhagavad Gita said there are many ways. All these ways are meant for absolutely in the lower conscious level, but attaining that one path, ultimately what happens? Even though you are taking karma yoga, or it is jnana marga, or bhakti marga, or sannyasa yoga, they are all merging with the jnana marga, the absolute jnana. From that absolute jnana only, the attainment of the Brahmaiva sukham or Bhumaiva, Brahmaiva sukham or Bhumaiva sukham, Bhumaiva sukham can be attained, or we can become that. That's only. So the path is only one. Through different activities and disciplines one goes depending upon one's karma. One has to travel a long way, one has to travel a shorter way. That's all the difference. But all the paths will have to join one path. That path will take you only towards the Brahman. That there is no difference in that. The bifurcations are only at one point, but the one which has to be travelled towards the Brahman is only one path. The other paths are binaries of this, like many rivers join to a stream, many streams join a river, many rivers join a big river, and big river joins the ocean. Ultimately, it is not the stream joining the ocean, even though the stream is necessary to become a river. Stream is not the one which is joining the ocean, it's the river that is joining the ocean. Right? Not the stream. Clear? Same way in us also. So don't get misled that, in this path also I can attain Brahman. True. That is only to give a boost, moral boost at that point of time. A karma yogi will not understand what is jnana margam because it is very difficult for him to understand. So for him, unnecessarily taxing on him is very difficult. So you tell him that through karma yoga you will attain. But after karma yoga, what is there? We don't scare him. After karma yoga, after executing so many karmas, he attains a jnanam. Oh, that is like this. Then he tries on the jnana margam, a task. So, you understood? So, they are not wrong. What I am saying is that they are only the methods of this, explanations. So, when I am explaining Upanishad, we understand very specifically the path is only one. There are not many paths as we think. They are only for the beginners who has not understood any of these things, who does have an opportunity when he comes in contact with the Guru, he sees that there are so many people. I was just telling someone, so many people they will send in Facebook, when a public conversation is done, they want to know many things. In personal mails and other things they would like to know. Why am I having this problem? The question is simple, because he is having a problem. Now for one who is in the spirituality, a guru to explain, we can say certain things, but the certain explanation is not possible. When one is face to face, there are so many things which is explainable within a fraction of a second. First of all, in face to face, what happens is that's why, earlier days in Gurukula Vidyabhyasa was very necessary. Why? Because the Shishya sitting in front of the Guru itself, half the things he will understand without teaching him, because so many aura is there, the understanding is there, then automatically bliss is there, the perceiving capacity automatically comes. It has a difference. It's not like learning something else, learning languages or learning mathematics or learning things through this, which is only a physical exercise where you can learn. But this is not like that. So it has a method. So through that, that's why the old the Shastras and Vedas said it has to go through those Guru Diksha, Guru Shishya Samparka, Guru Parampara, all these things. They are given a lot of importance, and through the Vidya of the Shastras is one of the instruments that Guru uses to impart the knowledge to the disciple. This is one of the Shastras, not everything. There are so many others. This is 25%. And the other, the 75%, is through discussions, through talks, through meditation, through just study, watch the Guru and then how it happens. So if you watch constantly, you will find there are so many things you learn, like in the Gurukula. So this is how in Gurukula, it's 24-hour study actually. Even though the Guru says a story for the children to put them to sleep, even they are lying down, sleeping, everything is an experience, everything is learning. Through that, many things they are learning. So, each and everything has got its own step. That is why this discipline, when it is followed, we can easily attain that status of Samarpana Bhava, Upasana Bhava Sthiti and Nididhyasana Sthiti, and attaining that oneness. He said that two persons cannot become one. He has only two persons cannot become one. We said about the Ardha Narishwara. Nari and Ishwara. It's only for us to understand. In Vedanta, what they say? Shiva Shakti. Merging and Shiva and Shakti is very easy. Merging, what is that? Nari and Ishwara is not. It's not that as we are seeing a picture of the Nari Ishwara. Nari is Shakti, the other is a Shiva. The picture is only for the lower consciousness people to, just to understand, a path to understand, which is not right. That picture is not right. But the principle is right. Picture is not right. Artha, Nari and Ishwara cannot be there. Shakti and Ishwara can be there. Yes. Because Shakti doesn't have a form and shape. Shiva doesn't have a form and shape, which is consciousness and which is Shakti. One is consciousness, which is Shakti. Consciousness without Shakti is not present. Shakti cannot function without consciousness. It is one and the same. There is no question of merging there. It is inherent, is what we have to understand. You understood this? So, to make us understand these things are done. So, this should not be misled by any of these things. So, the path of teaching is only one. The path of attaining Brahma Sakshatkaram is only one. There are not many paths. Now, I am talking about above the lower consciousness level. When I am in the above the lower consciousness level, none of these are applicable only. That's why he said, why did I, this word initiated me to tell all these things. That Bhumaiva sukham. What is Bhumaiva sukham? It's another word easily told in many of the Upanishads. Many ways we have heard hundreds of times. Probably we also might have told Aham Brahmasmi. We are coming to that. What is this Aham? Since we are not told about Aham, I am not talking about it. It is same. Bhumaiva sukham is Aham Brahmasmi. Okay. So today we should understand that Naalpey is sukham. This is a better word, of course, no doubt. Here the question of restriction of Aham is not coming. What is Aham? We are talking about it, then we will remove that misconception of Aham. That's the last chapter. One more, this is 24, no, 23, 24 and 25 is there. Then it is only the last final concluding chapter, which we will be taking in between meditations. But this 24, 25 and 26 we will finish now, so that this major portion up to the Aham is complete. Then it's only the classification and analysis of the Aham takes place. That will maybe 2-3 meditations. Then we want a break. Then one day in between one class. Then 2-3 meditations. Then one class, like that. And then we will finish that also in 3-4 classes. I think that should be over. But we will be completing this in 2 classes now with this major chapter of this will be over. So you understood why Bhumaiva sukham. So Maharshi Sanat Kumara said, "Hey Narada, hey Maharshi, I reiterate, this is the truth." That's why I told you there is no other way. There's only one way to attain that. To attain Brahman, there's only one way. Not many ways. Those many ways are true. I'm not denying, I'm not refuting that, because these have been told by great people. I'm not refuting it, please understand me. I'm very much appreciating that, but only I said they are the methodology of teaching at a lower level. But when you attain the identification of Naalpey, sukhamasti, the person who identifies that Bhumaiva sukham, for him, none of those are necessary. They are all to be renounced. And in smaller words or in some other sentences, we have already explained this earlier also. Even Vivek Chudamani said, at one point of time, even the jnanam that you have learned has to be renounced. It's of no use. Once you become that, you become the jnanam, not that you attain the jnanam. When you become the jnanam, not that renouncing means not that you become an ajnani. No. See, we will immediately think, see, I have learned with great difficulty, why should I forget it? It's not forgetting it. It's not renouncing it. It's not, as I told you, what is renouncing? Renouncing is not leaving something. Renouncing is diluting it into us. When from one status to another status we are traveling, we are not destroying anything. That which is asatya merges with satya and it becomes satya. When you become a jnani, you have knowledge. When you become Bhuma or when you become Brahma, the knowledge dilutes in Brahma, because the one which has got knowledge is Brahman. Knowledge is not Brahman, the one which has got knowledge is Brahman. So when you become Brahman, you become that. So it's not that you have to forget knowledge. You become the knowledge. It becomes inherent. Your capacity, or you have the inherent capacity of the knowledge. Like nobody says, I have a heart. It's not necessary. Everyone has a heart. Everyone has arteries. It does not be specified. When we say a person, means a person with heart and arteries. Okay. Has it to be specified? A man with a heart. A man with arteries has not to be specified, Same way, Brahman with knowledge need not be specified, because knowledge is inherent in that. But if it is only a surgery to be taken place in the heart, we have to say heart surgery. So we have to say jnanam separate there. No? Because surgery has to be done only on that. Something like this. I'm just explaining so that in whichever way you are perceiving it, you access it and get it. But don't think that. Don't get confused. Why I'm saying? Don't get confused at this stage, because at the fag end of attainment of the Brahman, at this stage you should not have a confusion. You should have absolute faith that what is being understood, perceived, is only right, not that it is right. I hope about this I told you. Speaks only the truth, or he speaks only the truth.
Because it is the truth. He is the truth. It is the truth. He speaks the truth and he speaks only the truth.
He speaks the truth, or he speaks only the truth. Only is a class.
Only.
He speaks the truth only, or he speaks only the truth. The truth is spoken by him. He speaks the truth only. He speaks the truth. The truth only is spoken. But the truth. Because when he speaks the truth, he has a choice to speak untruth. In this truth is spoken, there is no choice. Because whatever is spoken is only the truth. Whatever is spoken by him is the truth. Whatever he speaks is truth, is different. So truth only is expressed because he is removed in the other factor. It's truth that is being presented. The other way, somebody is projecting the truth. Someone or something is projecting the truth. In the other case, truth is appearing. That's all. There's no question of choice. One is projecting the truth, another is truth is appearing. The truth alone is appearing. So here, now at this stage, what we are doing, whatever you are listening is the truth. That's all. There's no question of question mark or doubt. Because we cannot understand it through the lower consciousness. So there are no similes, there are no examples, there are no similarities. Examples we are speaking only for us to just to establish the fact. That's all. But the total faith has to be there. So when he says Bhumaiva sukham, Bhumaiva sukham, it's nothing other than that. Now don't try to explain that. You will get unnecessarily complicated. Well, doesn't matter. You have to contemplate. You contemplate. Contemplate to establish it. That's all. Not to refute it. Once the mind starts refuting, it keeps on in the path of refuting, and the result that you get will be refuted result. And when you establish the truth, you get the established result. It's always like that. Hey, so what happens? So I say once again that Bhuma is fullness in bliss. How can you enter into this Bhuma? How can you enter into this Bhuma is what Maharishi Narada has got asking. Unless you know the Bhuma, is what Maharishi Sanat Kumara says. How can you enter into the Bhuma unless you know the Bhuma? Enter into the sense, it's only a word that has been used. That how can you transform yourself the Bhuma? You transform yourself. When we say when the prana is there, Sharira is functioning, and we are having a representative of the prana functioning in a form and shape. When the form and shape is gone, the prana is functioning without a form and shape. Then we cannot say prana is not there, only sharira is not there. Same way, the transcendence, when it takes place, your present status is not there, but your present consciousness is there. It's the consciousness which is traveling towards the transcendence and transformations it carries on, because it is that which is capable of transcending itself. If it is a body, it is not possible, because it's a jada sharira which is not transcend. It's also transforming by its own biological sense from the infant to the vardhakya, from balyam to the vardhakyam. It also has its own changes. There is no control on that much by us. But in our conscious level transcending, we have a great control. Because the more you direct your senses and your consciousness and your senses and your mind towards the Bhuma, towards the Atma, towards the Brahman, it travels into that transcendence much faster. Today, if a young man thinks, I want to become old, maybe that characteristically he can become old, but physically he may not become old. Or an old man thinks he wants to become young. Characteristically he can become young, biologically he may not become young. It's not possible. A reversal is not possible, but a reversal in the consciousness it is possible, because consciousness did not have a childhood nor a vardhakya. Consciousness does not have a childhood or a vardhakya. Consciousness is static. In a vruddha as well as in the infant, in the child, the consciousness is same. The Atma is same. The prana is same. It's not aging. It's not different. Old man's prana, young man's prana. Prana is prana. Right? So who can transcend? The one who is permanent only can transcend into higher self. That's why it is known as the self and the higher self. The capacity to merge with the same characteristics of the unit, in the sense, again, is it separate? It is saying again, saying like in Ishavasya Upanishad, that the space inside the vessel and space outside the vessel, that's all. We are identifying it as space inside the vessel, that's all. Since we have a sharira, we say my prana. I told you when we were talking about my prana, how mistaken we are when we are addressing like that. Prana doesn't have any ownership, it doesn't stay with you. You are in the prana, in fact, see. It flows everywhere, including the body, like the breeze, like the air. Prana is that. See? So same way, so we say inside. The going in means that we are talking about the transcendence, the capability of transcendence. The capability of transcendence of this prana with experience, prana into the higher experience. Prana with the Jivatma, we call it as Jivatma and Atma and Paramatma. They are classifications only to understand. There are no three bifurcated divisions of the Atma. No. They are namesake. It's only identifying, just tagging them. When they are with you, you are tagging them, this is Jivatma. But actually there is nothing called, a separate thing called Jivatma. It is Atma. When the consciousness or the mana is undergoing certain experiences, we called it as Jivatma. It is only for the purpose of identification. Mango tree planted in April, mango tree planted in September. When they grow big, what's the difference between April and September mango tree? Mango tree is mango tree. For my identification or some certain calculations, like the planters, they will identify them, they will tag them, name them, so many botanical names. So that we won't understand what is called mango, they will put some other name. Many of small thing. Long botanical names. What is that? Kuch nahi hai, bindi hai. What is it long? What is a botanical name for bindi? Maybe something very long. I don't know. Of course, I am not very good at it. So I don't know. Okay, just going one side of it. So you must therefore know what is called the fullness, so that your transcendence to fullness is a feeling, an experience, so that an expectation is there. Even for the consciousness, there is an expectation. No, Brahma Sakshatkaram, there is an expectation. Whatever said and done. But it's a good expectation. Theek hai, koi baat nahi. That sort of allowance is there. So he is asking, Sanat Kumara is asking, hey, Maharshi Devarshi, how do you know what is called this fullness? Kisko hum purnata bolte hain? What is that? Hey, great master, hey, Bhagwan, please tell me, what is this Bhuma? Devarshi is asking him, hey, Bhagwan, tell me what is this? Please introduce me to this great mystery of being that you call Bhuma. He calls it as mystery. That's what I told you. It's mystery. It cannot be understood. So you put me into that. Devarshi is telling, please put me into that. I do not know. What is Bhuma? What is the fullness? What is this completeness? If it is not to be found in the union of things in this world, where can I find it? Are the questions asked by Devarshi Narada according to Upanishad. So he says in section 24, Devarshi, Maharshi Sanat Kumara says that Yatra Nanya Pashyati. He is explaining this beautiful topic. Yatra Nanya Pashyati, Nanya Chrunoti, Nanya Dvijanati, Sabhumadha. Hope you must have understood by now. Yatra Anyat Pasyatyanya Chrunotyanya Dvijvanati Tadalpam Yo Ve Bhumaha Tadadbhudamatha Yadalpam Tanmartyaha Sa Bhagavaha Kasmin Adishthita iti Swe Mahimni Yadivana Mahimniti. Swe Mahimni. This is Nanya Pashyati. That what you don't see. Nanya Chrunoti. That what you don't hear. That's what it is. No, nothing other than that. Nanya Pashyati, Nanya Chrunoti, Nanya Dvijanati. You don't understand it as, no, you don't understand. Dvaitam, Dvijanati, Dvaitam as understand. Understanding means I and you are there. I am understanding something. So Dvijanati. That's why Dvijanati. Sabhumata. That means none of this, when none of these are there, that what is left out is called Bhuma, completeness. Is what the way of explaining. Okay, now we will go into details of it. So here the Maharshi Gambhirananda mentions here, the infinite is that where one does not see anything else, does not hear anything else, does not understand anything else. Hence the finite is that where one sees something, hears something, understands something. So when you are seeing something, hearing something, understanding something, they are all finite, nothing other than that. That which indeed is infinite is immortal. On the other hand, that which is infinite is immortal. That which cannot be heard, that which cannot be seen, that which cannot be understood is called immortal. That what you hear, that what you see, that what you understand is finite. So everything is finite. What you understand, what you see, what you hear, everything is, that means everything in this universe is finite. And we are functioning through finitude. Nothing other than that is what he says. Now let us go. Let us see Swami Krishnananda, what is he saying? Swamiji says here, Bhuma and the objects. That's what he has taught. He has given here this one here. The topic he has given is that Bhuma and the objects, the infinite and the finite. Section 24. Bhuma and the objects. Yatra nanyadi pashyati. Do you want to know what completeness is? And do you want to know what finitude is? Here is the definition, says Sanat Kumara, where same thing is. I'm just repeating what he has written there. Where one sees nothing except one's own self. Here he is adding here one's own self. That's a little complicating, yes. Okay. Here he has clearly said that what you don't see, that what you don't hear, that's all. Swamiji has added, well, both are same meaning only. Here he has said there's a reason behind it, why he has added it. He says that sees nothing except one's own self, he says. Where one hears nothing except one's own self, where one understands nothing except one's own self. Same thing, he has added one's own self in this. That is Bhuma. Now this is going to mislead. Here, when it says that what is seen is not right, that what is heard is not right, that what is experienced is not right, that what you hear, what you see, what you experience is all finite. Even though the inherent meaning of self is there is somebody who is seeing, somebody who is shrunutva, somebody listening, but it's not coming to our mind, That whatever is seen, here what he says, that whatever is seen, that whatever is heard, that whatever is experienced is, just discussing this so that we get a clarity of the subject. Both are same, but clarity of subject. That what we experience, that not we, that is experience, that is heard, that is seen, not we. Experience is finite. That is not seen, that is not heard, that is not understood, is Bhuma, is. So, when this is told, there is no individual who is seeing or no any represent that which is visible. That means visible means to the naked eye of the lower consciousness, to the hearing instrument of the lower consciousness. Here, the eye is not there. Here he has told their own self. Now why did I say this? Because I saw this self being used many places. I think in my video that I uploaded in the last class, last time, 234 I think. In that also I have written what's called the 234 or 35? 243, sorry. 243. In that I have written self, about the self, because I saw some writing by some people that self, the light of the self or the knowledge of the self is everything. There's nothing called knowledge of the self or the self-knowledge, nothing like that. They are all misleading terms. So when it is called self, they all identify, or that's what I think, that when we say self, we all identify as I, is it not? The self. So first of all, we understand, before we understand, that sentence is written by some Maharshi, that the light and the knowledge is in self. That's what is written. So when the self is there, another knowledge is not necessary, or another knowledge is not there. The self's knowledge is the knowledge. That's what is written. There are no two knowledges. I always said that knowledges are not there. Knowledge is only one. So I mentioned specifically in that paragraph where I put up that video clip. What is this self? How to go into? Then I have to also told that you have to go into the subtleness of the self. Then only you will know what's the meaning of self, because people should not misunderstand what is self. Self is I. We are coming to that also. Luckily, that chapter is also in English, but I have already mentioned. So one should not think that what happens, in such advertisements. As I told you, when the Shastra, Vedanta and other things, piece by piece, when it is taken and published in Facebook and things like that, people find something and they will just take it and put it on the Facebook. You see, they don't know how wrong it is. We cannot separate it and know, because it has all its own context. In that context, when it is applied, it has got a different meaning, but when it is taken out from that and put isolating in the sense, it will give lot of complications, lot of misunderstandings. Well, one goes into detail, they only will have complication. Others will not have any complication, absolutely okay. They are in Bhumaiva sukham, ahameva sukham. वो अच्छा लिखा है, बहुत अच्छा लिखा है, बस that's all, that's end of it. ये अच्छा क्या है, लिखा क्या है, दोनों मालूम नहीं है. Swami Krishnananda says very specifically, own self. I would like to explain this self afterwards. Okay, I'm coming to that. Now that is Bhuma, the absolute, where one sees something outside oneself. You see, where one hears something outside oneself, outside understanding, thinks that is finite. That's what he also mentions gradually. It is something outside me, aham. So here is the whole matter clinched into a single sentence describing what is fullness and what is the not fullness. What is immortal is Bhuma alone. What you call mortal or perishable is infinite. Hey Bhagavan, where is Bhuma situated? Which place? Asked Devrishi. You are asking me where it is situated. I'm just reading this question because there's nothing to explain in this. He's asking where it is situated. Its own. Where is it present? It is situated in its own glory, he says. Where is Bhuma? Situated in its own glory. That's all. Perhaps it has no situation at all, replies the master. It cannot be that it is located in something else, that it is dependent on something else, that it has something else as its support, just as we have come support or other in this world. No permutation, combination. Anywhere you beat around the bush, you cannot find out or you cannot tell where is it situated, where is space situated. It's something like asking where is space situated. Space is situated in space. Where is Bhuma situated? Bhuma is situated in its own glory, means Bhuma is situated in Bhuma. And what else to say? There's nothing else to say. Hey, Narada, this has to be that true faith, true Shraddha, true completeness, only this can be understood. That perception level has to be there, then only you can understand it. Otherwise, you will be only trying to understand Brahman as an external entity. Then you will try to understand it, it is not possible because you have to become that. So be it. That status has to come. So he says, there's no situations, no status, no place, no nothing of this is that. Just we have some support other in this world. How can all beings be supported by something else? It is the support of all things. What a strange question that you are putting me. It's support of its own, rather. It has no support. It's the support of all. Narada said, because you are thinking in terms of objects in the world, that is why they are all happening now. I told you, I'll tell you about the self. self in English, and in Sanskrit it is known as Swayam. Swa. Swaha. Swa is Swayam is. What is this Swa? What is Swayam? The Swayam is not that, as we said about the prana, it's not inside me, the prana is, the Swayam is that, the me, let me say. Swayam means, it's not mine, or it is not myself, that's why he said, the self, own self. He mentioned about the own self. That self which is like Bhuma, which is situated in its own glory. So he has mentioned own self, and it's not only self. Self is Swayam. Own self, Swayameva sthite Swayam, is own self. The Swaya, which is inherent in the Swaha, Swayam. That's called own self. That is Swayam. Swa means, again, we always said that Aham or Ahameva Swayam. Swayam, mine or me, they said. In English it is me. Here it is Swayam. Swayam doesn't mean me. You know? From Swayam only the Swaha comes. Swaha is what? Swaha is that which oblation is done, and when an oblation is done, that which is absorbed in, that unit which absorbs that in, is called Swayam. Agneya Swaha. Agni is considered as Swayam, and this is consumed, the oblation is considered as Swaha. The Agni is Agneya Swaha. It's not that I am separate and Agni is separate. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Ahameva the Vaishwanaram. So whom are you oblating? To Agni. Agni of whom? You are a part of the Agni. Swaha. That means Swaha is again oblating to that which can receive the oblations, that which has got the capacity to receive the oblation is why it is called Swaha. That which can digest, let me put it in a different way, like that which can digest everything. Okay. Swaha means once it is given as Swaha, it has been digested, it has been renounced, it has been given up. Okay, that's called Swaha. That is called Swaha. Means Swa is what? Swa is that. Swa is that whatever is oblated in is perceived and conceived and diluted is called Swa. Are you getting it? Whatever is oblated, whatever is perceived, whatever is consumed is Swa. That whatever has, that means it is not a unit only in me, even if it is in me, the one which is perceiving everything, that which is consuming everything, that which is oblated everything is destroyed or digested is called the Swa. That means Swa is the one which can take everything in. Swa is the one, Swa, Swayam. Swayam. Swayam is that completeness which has got everything in it. How can one consume something? How can Agni consume something and finish it off? Because Agni has a capacity to burn everything or destroy everything, dilute everything, just not destruction, dilute everything into that. It is not releasing anywhere. No, the combinations are, the ash only is left out, otherwise everything is digested. Swaha is that's why it is Swaha. That which is digested is Swaha. No? That which can digest is Swaha. That's why Swaha we say. Agni can dilute everything in the Agni. Water cannot. Residues will be there. Air cannot. Any other Panchabhutas it cannot. That's why Agni. I am taking the example of Agni. That which can consume everything is Agni. That means including why oblation is done. Agni Swaha. No, this you say the Pushpam Samarpayami, Dridam Samarpayami, Dhupam Samarpayami, this Samarpayami. Everything you are Samarpayami, that including the Aham is put Samarpayami. No? Aham Samarpayami. Aham Sarvas, last mein Aham Sarvasum Samarpayami. Ahameva Sarvasum Samarpayami. Aham Sarvasum Samarpayami. Aham, that means the whom I am thinking as an individual is being submitted, oblated, and that has to be consumed. Who is that? He is called the own self. Whom are you oblating to? The own self who is consuming that is called own self. Agni by itself is the own self, is called Agni. Okay. Own self is not only the individual I am talking. When an oblation is done, Agni is own self. When you are digesting food, the own self is digesting the food. Is it not? Who is digesting food? The own self is digesting the food. Who is perceiving the knowledge? The own self is perceiving the knowledge. Who is taking Janma? Own self is taking the Janma. Who is dying? Own self is dying. Are you getting it, what I am trying to tell you? So, when everything is done by the own self, who is own self? Own self situated in the own self, that is everything. Which has got the capacity to be born, to be dead, to be digested, to be given, to be taken, to be seen, to be not seen. What is it? Immortality, is it not? In explain immortality. That is called Swayam. Swabhavam. From that only Swabhava has come. What is Swabhava? Swabhava is the nature of the Prakriti. What is Swabhava? That is Swabhava. That which is inherent in the Prakriti, that which is inherent in the consciousness, that which is inherent in the cosmos, that which is inherent in the sukham, that which is inherent in the Purusha, that which is inherent in the Shakti, that which is inherent in the Prakriti is called Swabhava. Automatic characteristics of the same thing is called Swabhava. So if that is the Swabhava, who is Swa? If the characteristics is of the Prakriti, who has the characteristics? Prakriti has the characteristics. So who is Swa? Swa is that Prakriti. Swa is that Purusha. Who is Swayam? Swayam is that. Own self. Who is own self? Is that which is imperishable, is that own self which can perceive everything, which can consume everything, which is complete, which is fullness, which is inherent in everyone, is called the own self. Own self doesn't represent the Sharira, the Mana, the Atma, the Jivatma, or the consciousness or the knowledge in you is not own self. That's why he has told about the own self, not even self. Own self, the one which is situated in its own glory, which is Bhuma, which is the Atma. The own self is nothing but the Atma. Atma is not the individual, is not in-individual. Atma is inherent everywhere. Like prana is everywhere, air is everywhere, like Atma is everywhere. So we classified Jiva-Atma, the one who is doing the karma is Jiva-Atma. It's only a classification, but Atma is the same. That is why Chhandogya Mundaka Upanishad said that two birds, one is Jiva-Atma, one is the Atma, one is Paramatma. Jivatma and Paramatma sitting in the same branch, and one is enjoying the fruits, another is only witnessing. Upanishad said. Both, what do you call? Both are birds, is it not? One classified as Jivatma, one classified Atma, both are same. The one which is enjoying the fruits is identified as Jivatma, otherwise both are identified as birds. The bird eating fruit will be Jivatma, the bird not eating the fruit is Atma. So you understood what I am trying to tell you. So the self, that which is enjoying, you can call it as this I or something like which you represent, but what Maharishi mentions, the own self, that where one sees nothing except one's own self. That means Nanya Pashyanti, Nanya Shrunoti, Nanya Dijanati. Nanya Pashyanti, the one who doesn't see anything else other than the own self. Na Anya Pashyanti, seeing only oneself. What is seeing oneself? How can one see oneself? Unless that self is inherent in the self is not seeing actually, it is there. So it's not an activity, even though we call it as seeing. Pashyanti is an activity we are addressing to. It is not an activity. One is being in that status. We all use this word every day. When I tell you, you will understand. How is this to understand that it stays situated in its own glory? The self in its own glory is called the own self. Now, always looking at the outside to understand that. No. As an object. Now you tell me. We all use one word every day. I am sleeping. Is it not? What is sleeping? It's an activity, is it not? Sleeping, according to the language, sleeping is a karma, an activity. In Sanskrit it is known, that is why it is, the language has got different differences. Sushupta avastha, state of sleeping. The status of sleeping or state of sleeping. Sushupta avastha, we all undergo the status of sleeping. Sushupta avastha. Who is in Sushupta avastha? Who is in Sushupta avastha? We say I, because after waking up, I am seeing me getting up from the bed. So I inferred that I had been sleeping. Was it you who were sleeping? No, you have to understand it Upanishadically. Was it you sleeping? Why did I ask you? No, why? Okay. Probably this also you may contradict with me, doesn't matter. Suppose I say, I am taking this class. Okay. Something is happening. I am taking means somebody whom I call it as I address it as I, is doing an action by which the glass is being lifted up. So I can see something is happening, so I am lifting the glass. Okay. Are you sleeping? Can you sleep? I can lift the glass. Can you sleep? I asked this question earlier also sometimes. Can you sleep? Can we sleep? We cannot sleep. What we can do is maximum lie down on the bed. This you can say, I am lying down. I cannot say I am sleeping because I am not doing it. There's no karma involved in it, no? You see? Understand? Sleeping is not a karma. Sleeping happens, is it not? Just happens. And after sleeping, you do not know who is sleeping. Am I? That's why I asked you, are you sleeping? After sleeping, do you know that I am sleeping? Otherwise, you should be conscious of, oh, I am sleeping. That is not there, no? Like I am lifting the glass, I am aware. I am sleeping, am I aware? I am not aware. It's a status. You see, what is that? The self in the glory of the self. Sleeping, the status of the sleeping in the glory of the self is called sleeping. That's it. Why not the sleep? This is called the self, own self. That something like that is called the own self. It's not that there, even though I identify me as the self is not sleeping. Sleeping is a status, it is not done by anybody. Sushupta avastha, that's why in Sanskrit they said Sushupta avastha, Jagrata avastha, they said. It's not you who is awake, it's not you who is sleeping. They are only the avasthas, status of the self. The self only can transform into this avastha and that avastha. You cannot transform yourself into Sushupta avastha and Jagrata avastha. You means your Sharira and Mana. That which can be in a status, that which can transcend itself, that which can promote itself, that which can execute itself is called the self, which is called the completeness, which is called that all present. The self is all present. The aham, swayam is all present, is why swaha, swayameva swaha. That's all. You know, that which is that which can perceive something, that which can digest something, that which can understand something, that which can inherit something. You know, inherit, that's why it is inheritance. Inherit something, that which can become something. Even after being all that is done, the one who doesn't have any change in the status is called the self. Even after oblating so many things, the Agni doesn't have any difference, change. It's called the self. That's called the self. That which doesn't have any difference, that anityam, the nityam, is called self. And that's called the fullness, that's called the immortal. The self is immortal. It states that the feeling of immortality, the idea of immortality, the understanding of immortality comes from the self. In our mind also one says that, oh, I would like to live long. Who is wanting to live long? Actually, from where this idea of living long has come to the mind, it is from the avastha of the self. The mind has seen the self living for too long. So mind says, I would like to live long. So the idea behind that, or the perception of the principle behind that, is called the immortality, has come from the self, that which is immortal. It's called, which has got no support, it's independent by itself. It is not supported by me, supported by my emotions, supported by my actions, supported by my karmas, or by my janma, or by mrityu. Nothing is connected with the self. That's not the own. That's why Maharishi here specifically said, own self, that which is staying in its own glory. Self is that all-pervasive, all-pervading self. Self is not in a form and shape, containing in a form and shape, is not called the swayam. The swayam. I told you what is swayam. That is why the words aham and swayam has been used in Sanskrit. There, me, where we translate it as me and mine, aham and swayam has been used. Swaya is that swa, as I told you, swabhava, swarupa, swaprakriti, everything swarupa. A rupa attained by the swayam is called swarupa. Not my rupa is called the swarupa. The rupa attained by the swa, for the purpose of executing called Swarupa. You understand? The ownership becomes different, like Satyam and true, what is told truth and he is telling truth, like that. It's not that my Rupa is the Swayam, it's the Swayam who has created the Rupa for executing its karmas. Yes. Understand that? So Swayam, you cannot call the Rupa as Swayam. Swarupa. Whose Rupa? Swasrupa. Swarupa means what? Swarupa means the Swasrupa. The Swa is who? The Swa is that Prakriti, Swayam. His Rupa, Swarupa. That's why the word Swarupa has come. Own self. Swarupa, Swabhava, Swajati. Jati is one group, oneness. All the human look same. 2 eyes, 1 nose, 2 ears. Swajati. Animals same. Swajati. Lions, Swajati. Species, Swajati. We say, no? Oh, it is the beans or some other things like beans. We say it's a family of beans. Swajati. These are, no, the family of this. We say generally we talk like that. Swajati, that's called Swajati, not that the caste creed. Swajati is that one which is looking like same is called Swajati. Swarupa is also like that. The Swa which is created a Rupa in order to execute is called the Swarupa. So the Swarupa is not me or, am I clear? Yes. That's called Swayam. So Swayameva Sthita. Swaya is a status. Swayam is a status. So Bhagavan says in the 25th, the next continuation of the same subject. One more shloka is that 7:24:2. I think so. Yeah. 7:24:2 he says after that. Go ushvamiha mahimetyajachase hastikshiranyam dasabharyam kshetranayayanaaniti nahamevam bravidi hevajanye hyanyasminna tishtati iti chaturvisha khanda. 24th shloka is complete. Om, in this world it is said that one's glory consists in cows, horses, elephants, gold, this. I am not speaking like that because something that is different stays one, something that is different. Earlier days the wealth used to be having a lot of cattle, lot of men, wealth and all that. So people used to regard the greatness of a man, or a rich man means he must have so many horses, so many cows, so he's a cattle. Old days, so that's why this shloka has come, it is related to that. So let's not misunderstand that. A man who is very rich, well supported, when he says he is well supported, he is very rich, sustained if he has got plenty of cattle, plenty of horses, elephants and plenty of palatial building, vast property and beautiful house to live in. We consider him, he is supported well. This is called a well-to-do life in this world. This is called a good support. This is called a sustenance. Not so in this Bhuma supported. It does not, it's not like this, it's only an example given. For us, we find this as Bhuma is not supported by any of the objects, nothing outside that. He is only establishing the fact that Bhuma stays in its own glory. Brahman stays its own in Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Jnanam, Brahman, that's all. There is no explanation on that, is what he is telling. It's not supported by something, or it is not assisted by something, because that is the one which gives everything, from which everything is given. So how it doesn't require a support, it doesn't require an assistance, it doesn't require a support. So not so in the Bhuma. It does not require any of these things for its support. It's not different from it. Okay. I am not speaking of the absolute in the sense that you have in your mind, thinking that it requires something else to lean upon. Okay. The relativity of things is the support of things in this world. Everything hangs on something else in the world. I hang on you and you hang on me. That's how we live in this world. But no such hanging is possible in Bhuma. It is self-sufficient, self-supported, self-complete and self-existent. Well, establishing Bhuma is by itself. Bhuma does not exist in this sense. It's absolute independent. Therefore, it is non-relative in every sense and term, in everywhere. It is difficult to say where it is, because the question where implies the existence of the space. But if you want me to tell you where it is, I say it is in the space. And where is the space? Space is in the Bhuma. In every, who can go where to the Bhuma? Where is the water? Water is in the glass. Where is the glass? Glass is carrying water. Something like that. So everything is that. So there's no explanation to that. You see, this is what he is elaborating it and telling us that, look, don't ask where is Brahman, where is this one, because there is no answer to it. It cannot be answered in a Shabdartham. It's not there. A lower consciousness mind cannot say unless you experience the Bhuma, and this can be experienced through tapasya, meditation. The self can be, because it's not attaining, it is becoming. That becoming can be done only through that, you see. Through that we will know that. And after coming back, what is Brahman? We cannot explain what is Brahman. Can we? No. What is the status? What is the status of sleeping? Can you explain? Okay. Simple. Very simple. Every day you are doing it. Every night you are doing it. Tell me, what is the classic analysis and classification of sleeping? Can we? No language is there to explain that. The only thing we can say, we are consciously not aware of what is happening. That's all. That's one word. Truly, honestly, one can explain only this. We cannot say heart is not functioning, it is functioning. Otherwise, every night we will die, every morning we will be born. Probably it would have been better. Because no, the night you will not get a heart attack. if one can have that, you know. So it is still working. We say it is working. But I am not aware it is still working. Am I aware? No. Our system is not. You eat and sleep immediately, then also food is digested. You don't sleep, then also it is digested. Blood is circulating even during night. Energy is passing through sleep, but nothing is aware. What is then sleep? Somebody said it is resting. Which part of your body is resting? Hands. No, somebody moves the hands in the night also, in the sleep. Hands or legs or head or eyes are closed. Okay, something like that. I too don't know what is sleeping. We explain? We cannot explain. What is Brahman? We cannot explain. So it is almost time. Now we have finished this. Next chapter is Aham. Beautiful. The ego and the self. The last. Almost last. Then the And 26 is the primary of self. That's again the self only. It's a continuation. Aham, the ego and the self, and then the self. And that will finish our 7th chapter complete. And 7th chapter complete. Next one more class. I think we'll finish these 2. Then what is the chapter comes? The concluding chapter is only an analysis of the nature of the self, the universal self within the heart and in the world. So this will be, a study of the general self and things like that. This we can go through, because this doesn't have, it's a concluding chapter which has got only about 5 shlokas, I think, nothing more than that. That's a concluding chapter. But the importance is this completes the parishinic system. Ultimately is the aham and the ego. That aham, Brahman. As I told you, aham, now itself you know it, that the self, the own self is not this. So when aham we say, aham is not that, aham is that universal aham. That also we will know what is aham. What is called aham, we will know that. In the next class we will learn that. And then, okay, Om Shanti, we'll stop today. Okay, now, which is next is 25th. We'll have the section 25, 7, 25, 1. There is only one shloka in that. Or no, 2 shlokas in 25 and 1 in 26. That's so. The last sloka, even though we'll be reading this again, it's interesting. When I read it, I felt very nice, you see. And everything is finished. So beautiful it is how he is giving us a consolation. Tadeva shloka, and everything is finished. Napashyo mrutyum, don't feel. Napashyo mrutyum, pashyati na rogam, no ta dukha dukhatam, no dukkha, no roga, no sarvam ahavashya, pashyati sarvam apnoti sarvasha. This is called aham. That is aham. How beautiful it is. This sloka is fantastic. It is. Om Shanti. Let us stop. Close now.